It is Abundance Thursday. Okay, we could say abundance any day, but the reason why we are talking about money specifically on Thursday, I want you to do your research on this if you don't know already. But Jupiter is responsible for Thursday, I'll put it that way. And Jupiter represents prosperity and abundance. Yes, we know prosperity and abundance covers all. It's not just about money. But for the purposes of this segment, Money, Miracles, and Magic, it is about money. And that's what we focus on. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this segment today and let's continue on with our prompts that will help us identify and uncover our abundant identity that knows no lack. Okay? So, I want to start you off with this question. How would your days look different with money flowing into your hands freely and in large amounts? I'm going to read it to you again. Pay attention to the words. How would your days look different than what they look now with money flowing into your hands freely and in large amounts? Just right. The first things that are coming up in your mind, those are your authentic answers. That is your soul trying to come through to say, hey, listen, we are here. This is what we desire in our life. Okay? So consider that question. Now, here's another one. How does that make you feel to imagine money flowing into your life with ease? Flowing into your life with ease. Notice in both of these questions, I've used flowing, the word flow. Money is currency, currency flows. It is meant to flow. Like a spring of water, it's meant to flow. Like Niagara Falls, money is meant to flow to you and from you. So I'll read that question again. How does that make you feel to imagine money flowing into your life with ease? Is it easy or is it difficult for you to imagine that level of financial liberation? If it's easy for you to imagine that level of financial liberation, I want you to write out why it's easy. Because you want to remain in that energy so that that energy can expand. If it's difficult for you to imagine that level of financial liberation, write out why. Why is it difficult? When you write out why it's difficult, then you can uncover old stories about money that need to be eradicated, that need to leave your consciousness, your subconsciousness, so that you can operate from the true identity where you are financially liberated, so that you can operate from the identity that knows, not just believes, but knows that money flows to you easily. And when we talk about with ease, the reason why that word is so important is because, yes, we do want more money. We do desire more money to come into our lives, right? But we don't want any type of sorrow with it. So, for example, we don't want someone that we love to die and then all of a sudden we get all this money because they left us something because they died. No, that's not how we want it. We don't want more money flowing into us. We don't want a big fat check because we got into some crazy accident and we got an insurance check. No. We're talking about with ease. Ease of money flowing in that involves no sorrow, that involves no harm to ourselves or those that we love and care about. That's why we say ease. We're very specific here. So I want you to consider those 3 questions. All right, I'll repeat them. How do your days look different? How would your days look different with money flowing into your hands freely and in large amounts? How does that make you feel to imagine money flowing into your life with ease? And then determine whether it's easy or difficult for you to imagine that level of financial liberation. Let me know in the comments how you are liking this Money, Miracles, and Magic segment. I love it. Okay, this is something that I've been wanting to do. I didn't know whether to start another channel for this or just add a segment to Unleashed Alchemy. So I thought it's easier to add a segment to Unleashed Alchemy. So here we are on Thursdays. Money, Miracles, and Magic. And until the next episode, be rich.